A powerful typhoon made landfall in northeastern Taiwan early on Thursday, killing at least 2 people and injuring hundreds of others as authorities closed financial markets, schools, and offices. Conditions in Taiwan worsened as Typhoon Geami brought heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and a dangerous storm surge. It reached land in Yilan County with sustained winds up to 205 kilometers per hour, 125 miles per hour, equal to a Category 3 major hurricane in the Atlantic. The typhoon is expected to move over the Taiwan Strait Thursday before making landfall in mainland China's Fujian province. Bringing more strong winds and downpours to a country already hit hard by weeks of extreme rain and deadly flooding. A woman riding a motorcycle in Taiwan's southern Kaohsiung city was crushed to death by a fallen tree, and a woman in eastern Hualien was hit by a parapet that fell from the roof of a house, Taiwan's Central Emergency Operations Center reported. More than 200 others were wounded. The rapidly intensifying storm had been expected to strengthen into a super typhoon before making landfall on Taiwan's northeast coast Wednesday afternoon. However, it was deflected off its forecast track by Taiwan's mountainous terrain and spent more than 6 hours offshore making a loop near the Hualien coastline before making landfall at around midnight. Hualien, eastern Taiwan's most populated city, was hit with an additional 8 hours of the typhoon's worst conditions, including winds over 100 miles per hour, 160 kilometers per hour, storm surge, and torrential rainfall. Rainfall totals topped 300 millimeters, 1 foot, in many locations, with mountainous areas receiving over 500 meters, 1.5 feet. The deflection was caused by mountains disrupting the storm's wind field. The phenomenon has been documented numerous times over the past 60 years in typhoons approaching northeast Taiwan, with several making full loops before eventually moving over land. Taiwan is often struck by typhoons and has a generally strong track record in preparing for the damaging winds and downpours they can bring, especially in its cities. The more at-risk populations tend to be in remote and mountainous areas, especially on the east side of the island, where landslides can pose a major danger. Taiwan's Central Meteorological Agency, CMA, issued a sea and land typhoon warning for the entire main island, while Taiwan President Lai Ching-te urged residents not to make trips unless they can ensure their safety. An aerial view of damage from Hurricane Dorian on September 5, 2019, in Marsh Harbor, Great Abaco Island in the Bahamas. Hurricane Dorian lashed the Carolinas with driving rain and fierce winds as it neared the U.S. East Coast Thursday after devastating the Bahamas and killing at least 20 people. Related article: What rapid intensification means for hurricanes. Prior to landfall in Taiwan, Typhoon Geami strengthened in Pacific waters that have been at their warmest temperatures on record. The first typhoon of the season to affect Taiwan, it strengthened by 96 kilometers per hour, 60 miles per hour, over a 24-hour period, well exceeding the definition of rapid intensification of 56 kilometers per hour, 35 miles per hour, in 24 hours. Scientists have found that hotter oceans caused by the human-caused climate crisis are leading storms to intensify more rapidly. Most Taiwanese cities closed schools and offices on Wednesday while Taiwan Railways suspended some rapid train services. More than 50,000 households in Kaohsiung were without power. Dozens of flights and all regular train services have also been canceled for Wednesday and Thursday, with 3 of Taiwan's largest carriers, EVA Air, China Airlines, and Starlux Airlines, announcing disruptions due to the typhoon. Taiwan's defense authorities said they had to modify ongoing annual 5-day Han Kuang war games due to the typhoon. The live fire drills are the biggest annual military exercises of their kind in Taiwan, where the armed forces are increasingly vigilant against the threat of invasion from China. We will adjust some of the air and naval elements given the typhoon situation, Defense Ministry spokesperson Sun Li-Fiang told reporters in Hualien. Streets flood in the Philippine capital Manila on July 24, 2024 amid heavy rains brought by Typhoon Geami. Streets flood in the Philippine capital Manila on July 24, 2024 amid heavy rains brought by Typhoon Geami. Jam Santa Rosa, AFP, Getty Images. Geami has also forced the closure of schools and government offices in the Philippines as heavy rains hit the Manila capital region and the main island of Luzon. Some flights have been canceled and the Philippine Stock Exchange said it would cease all trading Wednesday. Images show roads and streets in Manila flooded by rains brought by the storm, as people wade through knee-deep water. Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. earlier said more than 770,000 people have been affected by the typhoon and southwest monsoon in the country's southern regions, and 4,500 personnel were on standby to assist with search and rescue operations. Typhoon Geami made landfall in Taiwan at around midnight Wednesday, bringing fierce winds and heavy rain in what was forecast to be the most powerful storm to hit the island in 8 years. The storm made landfall near Nanao Township in Yilan County, according to CNA, Taiwan's national news agency. By early Thursday morning, the typhoon had sustained wind speeds of 109 miles per hour after weakening over land. Taiwan was on high alert as the storm approached. Schools and businesses were shut, more than 500 flights were canceled, and military drills were scrapped, the authorities said. Fewer cars were on the road than usual in the capital, Taipei, where some streets were impassable from floods. Long lines formed at some supermarkets as people stocked up on food and water. The storm's destructive impact was being felt even before it made landfall. At least 2 people died and 201 people were injured, the Taiwan government said on Wednesday. A woman was hit by a piece of a wall that fell from a building in the eastern county of Hualien. In southern Taiwan, a woman was crushed to death by a tree brought down by high winds, the authorities said. In Yilan County, strong winds ripped out utility poles. In Hualien, which was expected to receive heavy rain, thousands of residents in mountainous areas headed for safety. Geami had maximum sustained winds of 127 miles per hour as it neared Taiwan on Wednesday night, according to the U.S. Navy's Joint Typhoon Warning Center. That would make it a Category 3 hurricane on the 5-tier wind scale that is used to measure tropical cyclones in the Atlantic Ocean. Before landfall Wednesday, Taiwanese authorities labeled Geami a severe typhoon, the highest level on their 3-tier scale. It was expected to be the first typhoon of that intensity to make landfall on the island since 2016, said Huang Chunqi, a meteorologist at Taiwan's Central Weather Administration. The storm had a looping track, meteorologists said, meaning that it could remain for longer at the same location, bringing more torrential rain and inflicting more damage. Taiwan was last hit by a typhoon of this strength and type in 2008. The weekend, Geami is expected to make landfall in China on Thursday as the equivalent to a strong Category 1 or low-end Category 2 hurricane with sustained winds of 145 to 160 kilometers per hour, 90 to 100 miles per hour. The worst of the winds are expected to occur in coastal areas of Fujian province, where boats have moored to take shelter and trains will be suspended Thursday. But heavy rain will spread across Fujian, southern Zhejiang and Jiangxi provinces for the rest of the week. By the weekend, The remnants of Geami will likely spread heavy rainfall farther north into areas of China like Henan, Shaanxi, and Hebei provinces, which have been hit hard by flooding in recent days. For many in China, the prospect of another major storm bringing more water is a big concern.